Okay, in this video, there are 5 things that I want to talk about. Um, since the title of this video is called Simulated Reality, I think that the first thing I should talk about is what a simulation is. So, a simulation is it's supposed to match an outside reality. So like if you do a simulation of a car, or you do a simulation of a blender, it's supposed to follow the physics of that item that's actually existing in reality. So a simulation is just a layer of what it's supposed to represent, what it's supposed to do, and that means that you can do experiments in a simulation to see how things work out, sort of like how you use math to figure out a problem. So the reason why I bring up the term simulation is that I guess several things have happened to me where it could be said that I am living in a simulation, or it could be the fact that there are so many people on the internet that when I encounter something odd, it could just be caused by a normal, regular person. But just in the case of where I might be in a simulation, I think that it's very plausible because there are several things that I have encountered. So and the reason why I think they're unique is because I do watch videos of people making simulated faces inside video games, and so the thing is that we're we're barely um, 10 to 15 years away when a simulation would be indistinguishable from real life. And so that means that um, it could be that right now it's 2016, but the thing is that since it could happen that simulations in 2025 or 2026 are indistinguishable from right now, it could be that it really is the year 2026, and they're just going over the things that are in the past. So the thing is that it may seem like it's the year 2016 because the simulation is running that time period from 2016 to 2026. So that's a possibility. And so the thing is that I'm not exactly sure how it would work out, the simulation, because if they're simulating past events, because they have the technology, they have the resolution of a regular human being, then that means that if I am in a simulation, the information was recorded 10 years ago because it's really 2026, but my experience is 2016. And so starting with those premises, it could be that my ability to think and everything is all linked together in my digital brain. So the thing is that recently I've been prescribed Prozac, and Prozac is supposed to help with anxiety and OCD. And the thing is that I kind of get worried about I watch some libertarian videos sometimes, like libertarianism is a political philosophy. So the thing is that well, I have it right here as the item number 3. Like item number 1 is a simulation, item number 2 is the anxiety and OCD, and the third one is called I want to talk about my IQ, because if they are running me as a simulation, then that means that in the simulation I still feel all the things that a normal person would, or maybe if I don't have feelings because simulated people act exactly like real people but they don't feel anything, then just getting back to item number 3, that they would have designed everything is supposed to be accurate to what it's going to be 10 years from now. So I would have a digital brain, and that digital brain would have a certain amount of intelligence. And so defining what intelligence is, it's I think it's self-awareness. Because recently because of the Prozac, I've been able to hold back my anxiety and my the feelings I need to like rub my hands all the time. Like I feel like I need to rub my hands all the time. It's not something serious like washing your hands all the time, because that can get your hands to bleed. But I do think I have like a mild case of OCD and a mild case of anxiety, though it used to be far, far worse 5 years ago. And so getting back to the simulation. So if I am in a simulation, that means that what I'm taking is not really Prozac from the chemicals. It's just acting on behalf of those chemicals, of the distribution of my digital brain cells to function the way they are. And I think that could be helpful to people, whereas that if they do have simulations of human beings, that they could test out new medications before they actually give them to people, because in the future I suppose that that we're going to have less mental health problems, just because it'll be personalized. It'll take some DNA and you'll see what the person needs, like vitamins, minerals, and just like neurotransmitters. But getting back to number 3 is that I think that my IQ could be somewhere around 145. I know that I took a real IQ test, and the real IQ test, those things are very expensive. So the thing is, because of my condition, they decided to have a whole bunch of tests done on me. So besides Prozac, I'm taking about 5 to 6 other medications, like my med packs right there. So the thing is that I kind of feel a little bit guilty that that I'm on Social Security disability income, because like I said before, libertarianism has to do with pulling your own weight, and I guess like finding solutions that aren't related to the government. So the thing is that, like, if I start thinking about I'm taking money from the government, and like they say the welfare queens, like welfare queens get money so they can have as many babies as they want to and not have to take care of them because the government will take care of them. Well, I'm just thinking that if like the real IQ test put me at 113, but my school records, I looked at my school records, and the numbers kind of just show that I could be 145. So the thing is that I feel guilty for taking money from the government, because I could be doing stuff all on my own. But the thing is that I kind of worry about getting jobs, because I had a job for about 3 years as a janitor, and it really stressed me out. It really put me under pressure because I had no one to talk to, and I didn't really feel like it was something meaningful to me. So the thing is that right now I'm taking my Prozac, and I have less anxiety, I have less OCD, and I just feel overall better. And I guess I spend all my time on the internet researching stuff, trying to think of new ideas. But um well, oh yeah, okay, so I really like using the internet. And I'm on the internet all the time because that's where I can talk to people. I don't have to like in my real life, I live in a small town. There's like 75,000 people that live in my town or city, whatever. The thing is that I haven't really been able to find anyone to talk to, and that's what makes my life very difficult, because sometimes I feel like I'm not that smart, and that kind of weighs me down because there's so many things I want to do, but and I don't use that as an excuse. That like an excuse would be like oh, I'm not smart enough because my IQ is so low, and therefore I'm I'm just all emo, you know, like, oh, I'm a worrywart, I'm so sad, oh, woe is me, and everything's so horrible, I'm an emo. And emo just means emotional, like it's kind of like has to do with goth and punk rock, and those are they sort of all dress the same, but they get mad when you don't distinguish them as separate things. So oh yeah, so I guess like I can talk about what my experience was in middle school. Because like in middle school, um, I was at a magnet program, and so that thing, they have science, art, and media. And so the thing was that I went into the science part, and so I guess the thing is that they put me in the school. They put me in the school programs that were like for gifted kids, or maybe like advanced placement. So that means that well, there three things is that yeah, 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, I did a science fair experiment. And so the thing is, the first science experiment I did, you have to do one each year. So there's a science fair for an entire year. So the thing is that in 6th grade, I said, okay, I built a little pen, and then I put some cockroaches in there, and I said, okay, I'm going to write down what the cockroaches do in this little pen. And then I took the cockroaches out of the little pen, and I put 3 ants in there, tiny little ants, and I recorded, okay, these are what the ants did, and these are what the crickets did, and I made a comparison. I made 2 paragraphs on each, and that was my science fair project for 2000 for my 6th grade science fair class. And in 7th grade, I made an experiment where I had 5 brands of soda, and I was trying to figure out how much fizz, like, you know, if you pop the can, it gets all fizzy and comes out with the bubbles. So I had 5 brands. I opened the tops for each of them, and then the next day, I measured how much soda was inside each soda can. And my hypothesis was that the soda can that had the least amount of soda in it had the most amount of fizz. And so the thing is that I'm not sure which one it is, but I think it was Sprite that had the most amount of bubbles from the fizz. And so in 8th grade, yeah, that was in 7th grade, and now in 8th grade, what I did was I had a 3-pack. I got some Sea Monkey packets, and I put them in test tubes. I put 1 packet in test tube 1, 2, and 3. And so what I did was I put lights. There was a yellow light, there was a red light, and a blue light from an LED. And so the thing is that I put a package in each test tube, and I wrapped it around so that it couldn't get normal light inside, so it was completely dark except for the LEDs. And the LEDs, like I said, they were blue, yellow, and red. And then after having the lights inside them for a week, I counted the amount of sea monkeys in each test tube, and I made a graph. Let's say the red one had this much sea monkeys, the yellow one had this much sea monkeys, and the blue one had this many. And so the thing was that the hypothesis of that science experiment had to do with yeah, it had to do with which light do sea monkeys best live under? What conditions does it do? So like, is the blue light better than the yellow light, and is the red light better than the? So the thing is that I think that red was the highest, blue was the second highest, and yellow was the lowest. So the thing is, I made a graph on that, and it said the best condition, the best light to grow your sea monkeys in is red light, because that was what I was trying to do in the 8th grade for that science fair experiment. And so the thing is that the next thing that I want to talk about is about the Bible, because I kind of believe what the Bible says, but not to the extent that I'm a Bible literalist. I don't think that the earth is 6,000 years old. I don't think that Noah built an ark. But I do think that miracles do happen. So the thing is that I think miracles can happen, but I just all the science I know kind of conflicts with most of the things that I think are just allegorical, metaphorical, and but I do believe the Bible is supposed to tell you how you're supposed to live your life. So the thing is, like, I kind of like was kind of scared for most of my teenage years because I thought that God hated me, and but after when I was 19, I stopped believing that because I stopped believing that, and so the thing is, well, the thing is that my mom would buy us videos about the Bible, and we would go to a Bible library and go to Bible camp, and but half the time it was fun, and half the time it was just really horrible. So the thing is that the reason I thought it was really horrible was that like I've been masturbating for like a long time, and so I just thought, well, maybe God hates me because I masturbate. And so the thing is that tying that in with my new medications, I don't feel the urge to do that kind of thing no more. Like, it's been like a week and I haven't done it at all. So the thing is that that's because of the Prozac. But otherwise, I think that God is an okay person, and I think like Jesus is an okay person, and I have my opinion on Jesus, and I have my opinion on the Bible, and I have my opinion on what it says and what other people say, and like I I I'm going to get a T-shirt. When I get money, I'm going to make a T-shirt, and I'm going to put on the front of the T-shirt, I'm going to put live for Christ, and on the back of the T-shirt, I'm going to put Galatians 5:21 to 23 and Ephesians 4:31 to 32, and um, I'm gonna read those Bible verses right now. And so Galatians 5:21 to 23. I'm going to read that. It says, envy, drunkenness, carousing, and things like these, of which I forewarn you, just as I have forewarned you, that those who practice such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. And The second one is Ephesians 4:31 to 32, and it says, get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God has forgiven you. And those are the Bible verses that I'm going to put on the t-shirt, the back of the t-shirt, and the front of the t-shirt again is I'm going to put live for Christ. And that's how I want to live my life, with by following those two Bible verses. And the thing is that I used to, well, I didn't really watch that much porn, but I kind of like pictures, and I just think that it's kind of disgusting that porn is disgusting. Rather look at pictures than video. But the thing is that since I stopped masturbating, I'm not going to look at those no more. And the thing is that I really want to have a girlfriend. And I guess if I have a girlfriend, then she won't. I just want to be with her and no one else. I guess the reason I masturbated a lot was because I was very well, I liked to do it, but the thing is that when I do get a girlfriend, I really want to have kids with her. And I just think that would be wonderful to take care of like a little boy or a little girl and have them love you, and everything else that goes along with that. And so the thing is that that there's lots of horrible things on the internet that I just do not want to expose them to. And so I think that when they do grow up, I probably have to make a filter on my computer and just put it on safe browsing. So I would have to put my computer on the settings that would be child friendly. And so when I do have kids, I'm not really sure who I want to be my girlfriend with, because it's kind of hard to think about it's hard to find people that are exactly like you, and someone you can talk to. But I think that along with the first thing I was talking about, the simulation and the artificial intelligence, is that I think that it will be possible in the future that computers will be able to understand people. And I guess that it would be compatible to using artificial intelligence to find someone I could be with. Because I don't know, it's just not that it takes a lot of effort. It's just that I want to get along with my girlfriend when I do have one, and I think the only way to do that would be big data or artificial intelligence. So yeah, that would make me happy, is that I would have a girlfriend that I actually could talk to and be intimate with, and have kids with. Because I'm monogamous, so that means that I only want to be with one person, and I want to be with that one person forever, because love is important to me. Most of the time, like I said, that I think that I used to believe that God hated me, but since I don't believe that no more, it just feels that that there's no one in my entire life that I could be intimate with, because like my dad left, my mom left my dad when I was 6 years old, and my mom kind of, I couldn't talk to my mom that much, and I kind of fought with my brother and sister a lot, and it just seems that it would be better to have someone to be with that you would know, you would know who they are and they would know who you are. And I guess like the last thing I want to talk about is this book. I made this book, and so I wrote this book in for my English class in 2005. I had like maybe 10 floppy disks that I had my book on. So in 2014, or in October 2013, I had enough money that I could publish my book. But the thing is that I got some bad advice from someone. They told me to not waste my money. So the thing is that I I was going to have, the publisher was going to have it published in, or not published, but like advertised in the New York Times. And so the thing is, that was a mistake, and they keep calling me and calling me and calling me about trying to get me to advertise it somewhere else. But the thing was, I had that money at that time, and I have no money now. And so the thing is, I cannot advertise my book. But my book is a children's book, and it's a parody of The Wizard of Oz. And I just think that it would be nice if more people bought my book, but I wouldn't be disappointed if that didn't happen. So yeah, the Prozac I'm has a dry mouth, and I have to drink a lot of liquids because of the dry mouth. But also like some Mormons came over to my house one time, and they gave me this picture of Jesus. And so yeah, it's just like it's like I think that little girls and little boys are like very precious, and that you are supposed to raise them so that they know that they feel loved by you. And and that's how I want to raise my children, and and make sure that they feel wanted, because um, it's very horrible when little kids do not feel that they are wanted. And I guess like the last thing I'm gonna say is like yeah, so like my school records my I was in the advanced program, and I was in the gifted program, and I suppose like if you watch Snowden, yeah, Snowden is the guy who link he had the information from the NSA, and he had divulged that to the reporters. So when I think about Edward Snowden, it kind of it's kind of odd, like, because on the news it said like his IQ is 145, and looking at my school records, I think that I'm 145. But the thing is that since I took a real test, um, it said 113. And I know I'm drumming on and on about this. I already said this already. But the thing is that yeah, I always felt that I was dumb and couldn't do anything. So I guess that I just think I'm smarter than than I used to think I am. And so I suppose that I kind of look like Edward Snowden, but that's coincidental. Like Edward Snowden talked to John Oliver on John Oliver. He's very funny. So it's like I just want to pretend, I just want to pretend that I'm as smart as he is, just under different circumstances, because it's like I think like that would kind of give me some self-esteem about that. And I guess like those are the 5 items I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about living for Christ. I want to talk about simulation. I want to talk about my book, about kids and artificial intelligence, IQ, and anxiety, OCD, and the Prozac I'm taking right now. And that's about it. And yeah, I had to really think a lot about what I was going to say, because it's been like an entire day where I had to just think and think and think, okay, what am I going to say? And then I wrote it down, and that helped me organize everything, because I can just go back to this part of this part, it's written down, and then I can follow it to where it's supposed to be. So yeah, so I'm more conservative than I am libertarian. I just don't think that libertarianism is going to work out. Like there's over 300 million people in the United States alone, and so the reason we have a government is because if we did not have a government, there would be lots of fighting. So the reason we have government is so that people can talk to each other. If people don't talk to each other, then violence happens. We go into war. Everything bad happens that just happens. So the libertarians don't understand that history had to go down that course. We had to have city-states. We had to have the Roman Empire. We had to have science to build steam engines. And so I guess that's particularly the government, that without a government we would not be able to talk to each other, and because we would not be able to talk to each other, there would be lots and lots of violence and fighting. And I think that that's kind of holding those things back. So oh yeah, so since I've been taking Prozac, I've been able to actually feel my brain just feels a lot better. And I suppose that yeah, in my next video I might be talking about how the brain functions, because anxiety happens because the frontal lobes are unable to suppress the bad feelings, and I just feel that I'm a lot better now. And yeah, that's how I'm going to end this video, is that I think that I have more, like, it's just like, it feels like my brain is a lot more calm, and that's the reason why I have, that's the reason why I'm going to make my t-shirt with Galatians and Ephesians on the back of the t-shirt, and I'm gonna be wearing those t-shirts a lot more because it's going to remind me, if I wear those t-shirts, I think that's going to remind me of how I'm supposed to follow those Bible verses in everything I do in my life. Thank you for watching this video, if you watched this video all the way to the end.